I'd like to welcome y'all back to another episode of Beyond the Fear podcast, the place where y'all come for motivation, inspiration, uplifting, and overall positive message. I'm your host, DJ. And today's episode, I just want to talk about building better habits. And as y'all know, I'm on my healing journey, my journey to become a better person, the person that I see myself as, in my head. I want to bring that out. And so on this journey, I've started reading more books to help with, my habits, spending habits, saving habits, um, being able to be better with motivation, discipline, just some of everything. In this book that I'm reading now called Atomic Habits, one of the things that the author talks about is, in order to replace bad habits or to get rid of bad habits, you have to replace them with something. So a good habit. And the way you build good habits is you have to attach, you have to attach whatever you want to something that's, pleasing to you. So if you know your goal is to lose weight, you have to attach losing weight to something that you like. So for the example that he used was an engineer made a treadmill or something that as he walked, it would power his it would power a device or something where he could watch Netflix. And so that was the only way he could watch Netflix was to get on the treadmill and walk at a certain pace to generate enough power to keep the device working, and so it was just, and it just talked about how you have to start small, start if you are going to get on the treadmill. If you need to start off with 2 minutes a day, make it 2 minutes, stop at the 2 minutes and do this every single day until it becomes like natural, because it's not about how long you do something. It's about how many times you do it. So he was just saying you could do something once a month for 7 years, and and it may not be as natural, but if you do it every single day for, okay, I'm sorry, I'm explaining that wrong. He's saying like you can walk on a treadmill once a week for an hour and it won't really become a habit, even if you do it like once a week or once every couple of days. But if you get on that treadmill for 2 minutes every single day, that is going to make it a habit. That's going to make it second nature quicker than you getting on it for an hour. And, because like for us, I know for me personally, I would think being on it for an hour would make my mind, make my body more used to it. But no, being on it for 2 minutes, but doing that 2 minutes consistently every single day, it's about the consistency, not the duration of how long you do it. And so once I read that, it was just kind of like it made me start to realize, because my way of thinking was I was one of those people who thought, okay, if I do it for an hour, my body will get used to it. And it's crazy that I still thought this way, because it's been so many times that I've tried to do try to work out, try to do the healthy thing, and it just didn't work for me. And the reason why, as I'm reading this book, I'm finding out the reason why is because I just thought too big. Instead of changing small things, letting doing these small things and letting those small things add up to a big change. I wanted to do the big change, and when the big change didn't work, it's like, okay, this isn't for me. When in truth, I don't know if it's for me or not, because I haven't given it a chance. So I know this year for me is the year of small changes, little things, changing little things. So one of the things that I said, I have this action Bible. So I know that for me, at the very least, 5 pages a day. You know what I'm saying? Because I think when I think about reading the Bible, it's this big thing. Like, oh my goodness, thousands and thousands of pages, all of this stuff that I have to learn. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I've said on previous episodes, I get so caught up in the big picture that, it becomes so overwhelming. I get overstimulated that it's just like it's not worth it. And, and I quit and I back out because I keep focusing on the big picture. So now it's just, even if it's just 5 to 10 pages a day, that's all I care about. That's all I worry about is my 5 to 10 pages. As long as I do that, I'm good. I don't worry about um, getting through the whole thing, a whole book in one day. I don't worry about trying to understand and break down everything, that's in it. I just want to get through my 5 pages. That's all I worry about. I don't worry about the next five. I don't worry about uh anything else. I just do my 5 pages. So for this year, for me, it's about small changes. So I just got my walking pad. I've had it for 2 days, and for 2 days I've done 10 minutes. Could I have done more? Absolutely. But just like the book said, I'm trying to build the habit. So I know 30 minutes. I know a day might come when I'm like, oh man, I don't want to do 30 whole minutes. But 10 minutes I can do. So that's what I'm doing. I'm starting off with 10 minutes. And then when that gets to the point to where it's like, let's up it to 15, let's up it to 12, whatever it may be, then I'll go from there. But right now I'm just focused on my 10 minutes a day, and I know, and there's still a part of my brain that's like, that's not enough. You're not going to see change. And it's like, because I'm so wired, especially in today's society, for that instant gratification. But I have to keep reminding myself, even if I did an hour those 2 days, I still wouldn't see the change that I want to see in my head, that my mind is telling me I need to see. So instead of letting my mind take over and I get caught up on the big picture, I'm staying focused on my 10 minutes. I'm staying focused on my 5 pages. I'm staying focused on, just trying to get in 5 minutes of reading, whenever I can at work while I'm reading the Atomic Habits book. That's the one I'm reading at work. And then when I come home, like I said, I get my 10 minutes. I'm planning on getting my 10 minutes on the walking pad and doing my 5 pages in the Action Bible. But that's what the game plan is. And I'm starting to realize that for me, making that mind shift from big picture to mini goals, like focusing on those mini goals, focusing on those small things to change, to make big changes. I know it's something that I've talked about on here before, but I never really realized, especially for me, how important small goals and little achievements were. I never really realized like how many things I wouldn't have given up on, how many things I wouldn't have quit, how many times I wouldn't have given up on myself if I would have focused on small goals, if I would have learned how to break down that big goal into smaller goals in the smaller sections to, help me deal with the eventual road bumps, the potholes, the bad days, the unforeseen things that are just going to come, that are part of life. Nothing ever goes smoothly every single time, every single day of your life. There are going to be twists and turns and things that are just unexpected. And for the longest time, when something happened that made me have to deviate from my plan because I was just so focused on big picture, I didn't realize that, hey, if I would have set smaller goals, I could say, hey, yeah, this is a deviation, but that small goal, that small finish line is right there. Keep going. But because I was just so focused on the end goal, it just made what was already maybe a long journey feel even longer. And it's just like I would just give up on myself. And so, I know that it's a reason that I'm reading this book now. Like in this moment, I think that if I would have read this book before, it just would have went in one ear and out the other. But because of everything that I've been through and the therapy and, watching my mom have so much growth from her therapy and from the things that she's learning in her church and going to Bible study and, all of these things, all these amazing changes that I see in her. So I also get to see an example of it. I get to see an example of small things how small changes can turn into big changes and you don't even recognize this person because they're growing and glowing in such an amazing way now that they look unrecognizable from who they used to be. And so I know that it's something that I can achieve. I just have to stop focusing on getting to that destination and focus on making my landmarks, hitting my benchmarks, hitting these markers that I set up along my path. And so for me, that's why I say all that to say I know that this book came to me in this moment for this reason because it's so many things that I want to change in my life, so many things that I want to either stop doing or start doing. And it becomes overwhelming when I think about it from that standpoint. But it's just like, what are little things? What are small things that I can do to start to create the habits, create the changes that I want to have, create the habits that I want to have to become the man and the person that I want to be. Just small things. I don't care what it is. If I want to get better with cleaning up my room, straightening up my room, what are little things that I can do every time I see something on the floor, pick it up, put it in the trash can, start changing the trash can more often. So it's little things that I know that I can do to get to where I want to be, to start building these habits to get to where I want to be instead of trying to make these wholesale changes and in the middle of, or not even in the middle, because I don't even make it to the middle. So in the very beginning, when I meet a little resistance, it's just like, you know, I'm ready to give up because I'm just so frustrated that it's not working or it's not looking the way I wanted to look. And I also had unrealistic expectations to think that a week of working out would show me visible changes, a week of eating better would show me visible changes. And so this time around, I'm coming in with realistic expectations of small steps, one good meal, you know what I'm saying? 10 good minutes, whatever it may be, trying to find healthier snacks. I tried some bars. I went and bought them. I went and bought my mom a box. So I was like, let me try them. I'll try a box. And I tried it and nah, it wasn't for me. So she ended up getting an extra box. But, you know, I tried it. I didn't like it, but I'm not discouraged because I know that there's going to be something out there that's at least, even if it's not the healthiest thing in the world, it's that's healthier than what I'm, eating now. And I can find a happy medium and then go from there. You know what I'm saying? I think that overall, that's been the main thing that's changed for me is, okay, I understand what I want. I understand what I want it to look like, but I also understand that it's going to be a journey to get there. I'm not going to get there overnight. I'm not going to get there in a month. I may not, I know that I'm not going to get there in certain things, certain aspects in 6 months. It's going to take time, but I know that for me right now, it's not about the results. It's about building the habits, the small things, the building blocks, putting those building blocks together to build the person that I want to be, to build the life that I want to have, to build the career that I want. All of these things start with small building blocks. So I'm doing my best to keep that in mind every single day. So I have to, when I get up, I have to think about that. I have to pray on that. I have to make sure that my mind is keeping me in that frame of mind of building blocks. That's what I'm working on right now, are my building blocks, because I'm trying to transform who I am all together. And that's not to say that there is no good in me. There are a lot of great things about me, but there are some things about me that I'm ready to change. I'm ready to get out of my, you know, distrust for people, my anger towards people, my um frustration, just all of these negative emotions that I'm holding on to. I know I did a video a few days ago because I had a bad start to my day, my shift or whatever. And I know me, and I know that I will hold on to that and I will take a bad moment and turn it into a bad day just because I hold on so tightly to it that I don't know how to let it go. And then I start to identify with it. And I start to identify, instead of being like, no, that was just a bad moment. That was something bad that happened. Let it go. It's like, nope, this is my life. This is how things are for me. And so I can see how I sabotage myself, and how I can sabotage my days and my weeks and my job. And next thing you know, now I want to quit the job. And I'm thinking the job is way worse than what it really is because I can't let go of that anger or that pain or that frustration from that one moment. And, and so one of the things that I want to learn how to do is let go. Just let go. You know what I'm saying? And I'm getting there because that same day I prayed. I went into, excuse me, I went into my corner, went into my area, quiet, and I just sat there for a quick second, for about a good, 3-4 minutes. Then I prayed for about another 2 minutes, and for the most part, it was gone. I had let it go, and but I didn't even know. The crazy thing is I didn't even know that I was holding on to it. So I was going to make a delivery, and one of the women was, just joking with me. And the way I responded, she was like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm just," and it just made me realize that I was holding on to it. I didn't realize that I was holding on to it because I was doing it subconsciously. But her saying to me, "Hey, you okay?" Made me snap out of it, made me realize, okay, I'm in my head. I'm allowing that to win. I'm allowing that pain and that frustration to take over. And so in that moment, I had to kind of catch myself. So when I got back to my area, that's when I kind of just, was to myself, you know, took some time to just think about it, think about how I can handle it better next time, think about why it frustrated me so much and what I can do to help prevent it, next time. And so it helped. But yeah, that's what I'm working on. That's one of the main things that I'm working on this year is building these small habits to create big habits, to make big changes, or creating these small changes to make big changes. And I think one of the biggest changes I want to be able to make is just letting go of everything, like all the negative stuff. I want to be able to hold on to the positive stuff, and I want to be able to let go of the negative stuff, the frustrations, the 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 anger, the jealousy, the frustration, the expectations. I want to let go of all of that stuff. But I know that it won't be easy. I know that it's going to take time. This is 30 years of me building these bad habits. So I know that I'm not going to get rid of them in a month. But it also lets me know that I'm on the right path when I can finally see it. Now, granted, it took somebody to show me that I was in my head, but for once they showed me, I caught it, I held on to it, and I was able to get myself out of it, through just kind of taking a step back, taking a step away from everything, and just praying. So I know that that's a step in the right direction, because I know that that's not something that I would have done last year. Well, the year before last. Well, yeah, I guess you could say last year around this time. I was just starting my journey. So yeah, around this time last year, I know this wasn't something I would have done. And 2-3 years ago, definitely wouldn't have been something that I would have done. I probably would have snapped in that moment, maybe even lost my job. Or if I didn't lose my job, I may have just quit my job right then and there, because I was a very impulsive person. I didn't care about the consequences of what I do in this moment. I didn't care about how it would not just affect me, but it would affect the people around me. I didn't care about any of that. I didn't care about anybody else's emotions, because I didn't know how to see past my own pain and my own frustration to see someone else's pain, or to see the pain that my actions were causing to someone else. I didn't know how to see past me and my hurt to see someone else's. So I can honestly say that that's something that I've done a lot better with, because I am able to, maybe not always, but I am more times than not able to see past my pain, to see the pain that I'm causing somebody else, and I can catch myself even if I feel like I'm right, or even if I feel like I'm valid in what I'm saying or in what I'm doing. I can see the hurt and the pain that it's causing somebody, and I can just let it go in that moment. I mean, obviously, it's still going to be in my head. It's still going to be something that I think about, but I can also, in that moment, ask myself, is this something that I want to keep doing? Is whatever I'm right about or I'm feeling in this moment, is it worth continuing to cause this person pain, or is it something that I can just say, you know what, enough's enough. Let me move on from it. And I'm getting to that point because I've had some encounters over, let's say, the past 2 months. I've had about 3 or 4 encounters of stuff like that where I was completely in the right to react the way that I reacted, but in reacting that way, it caused a reaction, and because that getting that reaction was not my intention, it was just like, I'm gonna just go ahead and back off, even though I have every right to keep going, and it would be understandable for me to keep going. I'm going to let it go because it's not worth it, you know. Um, because I understand that I'm a creature of habit. So I know that in order to build better habits, I have to learn how to let go of let go of the bad habits in order to create the good habits. And I have to fill the gaps of these bad habits that I'm trying to get away from with positive habits. So when I catch myself in situations like that where I could keep going, and it's understandable if I do, I just try to catch myself and say, it's not worth it. Not to say that getting my opinion or what across, or my feelings aren't worth it, because my feelings definitely are worth it, but doing it to a point to where I'm causing someone else unnecessary pain, that part isn't worth it. I don't need to be right that much. As long as I know that I'm right, I'm okay with it. I don't have to cause this person pain just to be right. But there was a time when I enjoyed that. Like, I reveled. I was amused by that, by me being right. And if you was somebody who I looked at as against me or as my enemy, or the person that I'm, excuse me, going against like that, I got enjoyment from me being right, hurting you. And yeah, I was, man, I had a lot of bad traits, just to put it in the nicest way. It's just a lot of bad traits, a lot of bad things going on in my life. And it just turned me, over time, it turned me into somebody that I did not want to be. And unfortunately, it took me getting in a relationship and doing a lot of harm to somebody that I care about to kind of finally catch myself, to finally see it, to finally put a mirror in front of my face and see this person that I did not recognize, I did not know, this person that I had become. And it was a very scary and humbling feeling for me, which is why I'm so adamant about this journey that I'm on. This is why I put so much into this journey, and trying to change and make these habits stick, because I did not like who I saw, in those days. when I finally when that mirror was finally put up to me and I was staring back at my true self, I did not like what I saw, and it scared the mess out of me that I could have become that type of person. And so it definitely pushed me to get into therapy. It pushed me to stop, doing certain things and talking certain ways and moving in certain ways. And again, I'm not perfect. Not saying that I've changed all my habits in any way, shape, or form, but I'm moving in the right direction, because I never want to get caught up like that again. I never want to have that mirror put up in front of me and see that person again, you know. And I know that it's going to take work to get to where I want to be, but it's just scary how you can become somebody without even knowing it, without seeing it, without recognizing it, how much you can change. And that just also goes into those habits because, you get to doing something and you may know it's wrong. You know it's wrong, but you do it and you do it and you do it. And now you don't even think about it being wrong. You don't even second guessing it. You don't even question whether it's wrong or not. It's just a part of your nature. It's a part of it's a part of who you are. It's a part of what you do on a daily basis. And then, those bad habits just add up over time and, and you just not even thinking about it because it's just building, it's building, it's building. One bad habit feeds into another, which feeds into another, which feeds into another. Next thing you know, your whole life is just one big bad habit because you've allowed them to feed off of each other and create this chain reaction. And then next thing you know, things happen. Now I'm looking in front of a mirror and I don't even recognize myself. I don't recognize who I am. I did not know that person that I was and the way I was acting and the things that I was doing. I did not recognize myself. And so to spin it back to what I said earlier, to see my mom doing the exact opposite of that and having all of these positive chain reaction habits, positive habits being a chain reaction, and then to look at her and to think, wow, just a few years ago. And again, not to say that my mom was a bad person, but just to see who she is and how she is now and the amazing things that she's doing now and how she's carrying herself and how she's moving and how she's operating. It's just good to see it in the other light. You know what I'm saying? To see how one good habit could feed the next good habit, which feeds the next one, which feeds the next one. And now, you know, you see the amazing results from it. So that's where my focus is now, is trying to feed my positive habits, trying to get some more positive habits and feed those. And hopefully they start to feed each other. And, and I have my own chain reaction and I can feel it. I can feel it brewing, but I know that I also know that I have a lot of work and I'm not going to run away from the work. I'm not going to run away from this because I don't think y'all understand. I really just do not want to be the person that I was, and I don't want to be back in that place. I don't want to be back in that quicksand, just feeling so stuck, feeling like literally like in a sunken place. And so for me, this work that I'm doing is so much bigger than, oh, I'm just trying to get right for the summer or, get a summer body and things like that. I'm trying to get my life right. I'm trying to get me back. I'm trying to get back to me. I'm trying to get back to that joy that I had, as a kid. And it's like, you don't really realize like how quickly and how much you can allow life to take your joy when, you're not paying attention to the things that you do when you allow these negative habits and these things to just, kind of dictate and control and steer your life. And you don't really realize how like your bad habits are now controlling you. Your bad habits are now, at the driving on, have taken the wheel and now controlling you. And you're literally being motivated and moved by your bad habits and these negative things in your life. And then they give you this false joy, have you thinking that, this is what brings me joy, this is what brings me happiness. And really it's just turning you into somebody that you're not. And so when I had that realization, it was just like, wow, I want to get back to genuinely being happy. But I had to ask myself, when was the last time when I was genuinely happy? And man, I honestly probably had to go back to my childhood, like maybe like 14, 15, when I was just genuinely happy, just in a good space mentally, emotionally. Um, I was never really a spiritual person, so I won't speak on like being in a good space spiritually because I don't know if I was or if I wasn't. But just, just being in a good space, I was probably like 14, 15. The last time I was in that type of space and had that type of genuine joy, on the inside. I can always put a big smile on and look happy on the outside. But the last time I was genuinely joyous and happy had to be like 14, 15. And then as I started to look, it's like, what has happened since then? And it's just so many things on top of each other that I just didn't deal with, that I just buried and I 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 buried until there just was no more room left to bury anything. And so now, I'm doing a lot of digging and I'm digging and I'm digging. And it's like you finding new things. Oh, I forgot this happened, that happened. But, you know, I say all of that to say I'm getting there. I'm on my way to who I want to be, where I want to be, how I want to live. And I know that, and I hope that my story is helping or will help somebody who's in a similar place that I am, where you feel like giving up because you feel like, no matter what you try, it doesn't work. It ain't for you. It works for everybody else, but it never works for you. And the reason is, at least for me, I know the reason is because I get so caught up in the big picture. I don't know how, or I struggle with the small picture. I struggle with the step by step stuff. I struggle creating a game plan. I'm just one of those people who has a starting point and an end point. I don't know how to put a game plan together to reach this this level, that level. I'm the type of person who wants to just read an entire book in a day. I don't know how to read just 5 pages. I don't know how to read a chapter a day. I've always just been an all in or all out type of person. But these past couple of months, this past year really has just shown me that no, I have to start I have to start living life day by day. I have to start enjoying life each and every single day. Wake up, it's a new day. There's something new to enjoy. It's going to be something new that I have to go through. It's a new obstacle that I have to get over or get through, but it's new joy, new sorrow, new pain. But I have to learn how to let go of the pain and the sorrow and hold on to the joy and the love. But I'm learning those things little by little, creating those habits to help me. But I will know that I'll get there. And I know that anybody who's listening, I know that you'll get there eventually. But just take those small steps, take those small wins, take those small victories. I don't care how small they are. Slow progress is better than no progress. But man, that's all I got for y'all today. I want to thank everybody listening on whatever platforms y'all are listening on, and to everybody watching on YouTube. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I appreciate y'all, man, for all the love. Y'all have a blessed day.